Well, howdy, folks. Do 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 do. Da da da. Da 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 da. I got the gimbal on today. Hopefully, I set it up right. Boy, when you add in the gimbal and this camera and this light, there's a lot of gadgets. Excuse me. Well, good morning. Good morning, world. Good morning to everybody in the USA, or that'd be, I guess, good evening. To the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, and wherever else you may be. Is that our silliest corner? Woo-wee. Thank you for telling me that at least I'm live. Sometimes I don't even know. There was that one time Kevin did his show where he was muted the whole time. And then I turned around after I was laughing at it. I did the same thing the next time I went online. Sometimes you forget. Honey Cow in our silliest corner in the house. We are coming to you live from Phuket, Thailand. Back in Thailand. Oh yeah. It's hot and humid in Thailand. I guess that's like saying it's cold in Alaska. Hot and humid is what Thailand is known for. But I'm also going to show you in about 1 minute what else it's known for. John S. is in the house. How you doing, John? Hot and humid here. Yes, it is. We just got back to Thailand. We were in Malaysia for a month. I gave everybody a vote, a piece of paper, and had them go into separate rooms and no influencing the vote. And I said, you guys can pick any place you want to go. And that could be the Philippines, it could be Taiwan, it could be anywhere you want to go. The I should say 5 votes. Ethan is too young to vote, but all the slips of paper came back and they all said the same thing. Phuket. Want to come back to Phuket. So here we are, back in Phuket for another round. They loved it so much the first time that they want to come back for another Phuket session. Well, we're trying to live the life, and that's partly what I'm going to talk about, John, because I have been talking to a lot of people, because I've been traveling, talking to lots of expats, retirees, digital nomads. Where we live in Vietnam is one of the digital nomad capitals of the world. And I think as humans, there's a tendency to go to a place and then just stop. So the vast majority of people in the Philippines community that I know, if they even go to the Philippines, which most of them never go, They go sit in their shitty little fan room and they never go anywhere. They never do anything. They're afraid, they're in quicksand, they can't get out and explore the world. And I'm here to say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. If the chitlins can do it, anyone can do it. So many times people think the limitation is about money. They say, I can't afford it. And I think that's a bunch of baloney. I think you can afford it. Most people can. You just got to get out there and make it happen. Look at this absolutely staggeringly stunning beach. Perfect water temperature. Oh my goodness, this is phenomenal. Can you get any better than that, chitlins, huh? And you know what? I'm going to say this, and people don't believe it. They think they won't come to a place like Phuket because they think it's too expensive. But I actually spent twice as much in Philippines as I do here, and I probably spend $200 or $300 less in a month than I spend in Vietnam. If you're smart about how you go finding places to stay and all that, you can find deals in all of these places, and you can explore the world too. But being stuck in one spot, sitting there, I want to tell you a story. We've been to Kuala Lumpur tons of times. And if you were to ask those two little chitlins right there, what's your favorite city in the world? They're going to say Kuala Lumpur. They love Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur has a lot to do. This time, we stayed on the other side of town than we normally do. And you know what we found? We found that we liked it even better than where we normally stay. So even when you go inside of a city, not just in another country or province, just by trying out new things within the city, you might find you like it a hell of a lot more. I grew up in the greater Los Angeles area. There are parts of Los Angeles that are the best places in the world to be. There's other parts of Los Angeles that are the biggest piles of shit you've ever seen in your life. Let's see. Let's go back a ways. I'll tell you, this is about as stunning as you can get in my mind. Can you get any more stunning than this, ladies? Can you help me read those? Because it's so glaring, I can't.
Which one? It says here, I am John S. I am great. TY for asking. I hope you are great too. Then Mubin, it's Mubin's birthday. Did you see that? No?
Who?
Mubin, that they are. Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Hip hip hooray! It's your birthday.
They say it's your birthday. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so we moved from one side of Kuala Lumpur to the next this last trip. And I would say, we've been all over Malaysia. We've been to Kota Kinabalu, to Kuching, Georgetown, Johor Bahru, Kuala Lumpur. Each one has a dramatically different flavor than the one before. But even when you go in the same city, it's like a whole different vibe sometimes. So I want to give that as a challenge to our little YouTube community to stop being afraid, stop needing someone to hold your hand, try something out. The entire adventure of traveling, something I've had the privilege of doing for the past 35 years or so, truly has been the best thing that I've done in my life. It's the one thing I look forward to doing again and again. I hope for the rest of my life, I'll still be able to go out and explore new places. We got a trip coming up here in a few weeks where I'll be going to Abu Dhabi and then all across Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, probably going to be in Albania and in Georgia, Romania, and Bulgaria, and maybe Poland. I was in Poland recently, and I couldn't believe how nice it was. It's like a million times nicer than the UK, which is really shitty. But the nice thing, every time we go to a different place, we experience all the local things they have to do there. We try the different types of foods that are available, go to the different cultural events, go to the different nature things that it has to offer.
Wow, sounds fun.
Yeah.
I hear great things about Poland. John
Well,
said.
honestly, John, and I have a video, but I put it in private. I put up a bunch of videos I did in Poland, in Krakow and Warsaw. If you were to walk around the square in Krakow or Warsaw, you would think that it was 100 times nicer than walking around Piccadilly Circus or some of the other places in Western Europe. And if you're old enough, like I am, you remember Poland during the Soviet Union era with Solidarity and Lech Walesa. And it was the poster child for filth and chemical waste. Well, it's not like that anymore. It's got perhaps the cleanest streets I've seen anywhere, maybe in the whole world. You could walk at night, total peace, and I mean, it's almost like there's no crime there. It's truly amazing. And some of the other Eastern European places, you know, we think of Bulgaria and Romania as places that were severely persecuting Christians. They were the hotbed of communism back in the 70s and 80s. Well, Albania and Georgia both let Americans go for 1 year visa-free. The cost is not much different than it is here in Southeast Asia, and it's super, super nice. See, people won't know that though, John, because they will, if they go on a trip at all, they'll go to the exact same place, rent a shitty room, and hide in that room for months. They can't show you anything. They can't actually go out and show anything about what they're experiencing. Everything is OA, drama. Then they'll say things like, well, I can't afford to go to Phuket. But they can afford to get drunk every night. They can afford everything else. They can never afford to go to the places they've never been. So like I said, I give everybody a choice. I said, we can go back to Boracay for 2 to 3 months. I was going to take them because we lived in Boracay. And I gave you the Boracay option or the Phuket option. What did you pick? Pick Phuket. No, I mean, it's like, why would you want to leave the United States if you're going to be a shut-in? Stay in the U.S., get the government cheese, that's about 8,000 calories a month right there. Get the freebies, get all the handouts. You're gonna go to a place where racism is rampant, skin taxes are rampant, the internet doesn't work, the food is awful, and you're going to sit there, be miserable, sit in a fan room, can't go anywhere, can't show anything. Then you're gonna go home with your tail between your legs, or you're gonna end up in Dumageddon like all those losers that just sit there and do nothing but make up troll accounts and attack people. That's how miserable their life is. They got nothing else to do. Believe me, if your life, the highlight of your life is that you're a troll in the Philippine community, which has a maximum of 500 to 1,000 people, then your life must really, really, really suck. I know there's certain people like Ricky that says he's a troll. Ricky's not a troll. He meets everybody. He goes everywhere. He's living the 5-star life. He'll say that tongue-in-cheek that he's a troll. He's sort of the opposite of a troll. But yeah, man, you know, get off your butt and get out here. You know, it's funny because Southeast Asia has something for everybody. If you want mountain communities, if you want cooler temperatures, you can go up to Sapa or Hanoi most of the year. It's going to be very cold. You can go to Dalat, Baguio, all kinds of mountain communities, Tagaytay, beach communities, island communities. We're only 3-hour ferry ride here from Krabi. And you have the best beaches, best food, and it's just awesome. The temples and the statues and all of the different cultural things that Thailand has to offer is truly amazing. We're very thankful that we just wrapped up what was our favorite trip, a favorite 1 month time that we ever had in Kuala Lumpur. The nice thing about Kuala Lumpur or anywhere in Malaysia, if you're American, you get 3 months automatically. But if you're a Filipino, you get 1 month. That's the downside. And the vast majority of the people with me have Filipino passports. So this is Kata Beach. So if you were with me a month and a half, 2 months ago, this is what I was showing a lot, Kata and Coron Beach. And a shout out to Doug Williams. I think Doug and Noon, when they come here, they like this beach too. This is their favorite place, Coron and Kata. Phuket is an enormous island though. I think it's more than 100 times the size of Boracay, which makes Bali in Indonesia even more impressive when you consider that Bali is over 100 times the size of Phuket, I believe. Maybe that's 10 times the size. Huge, with endless things to do. They've got water parks here, amusement parks.
John has said, I do enjoy your videos. Thank you for the effort and you put into it and the knowledge you share.
Thank you so much, John. I try to share the truth and without all the BS that most of the, I mean, even the guys that I consider friends in the genre are mostly spewing out BS. They're selling you some bullshit. I have no incentive.
Just being honest.
Yeah, just being honest. And sometimes people will say, I can't afford this or that. But you know, this last year, we started our book writing. We started 2 years ago. Honeyco today just got a check for $487 for her book. We made about $205,000 this year on our books. And I got another one coming out that Gumdrop will be releasing to all the libraries in America. I got first one was 5,000 copies. This one's 7,000. And
Wow, that is awesome.
that 7,000 copies equates to about 45,000 in the pocket. So we tried to come up with things that we could do. If I wasn't still working, I'm still working, of course, but I wanted to come up with things I could do that Honeyco and April could also get involved in. And we came up with something where we can monetize it, make money at it. So if I had to stop working, we would just be full-time book distributors and writers. J-Doll's in the house.
Yes, I just tuned in. It looks like your kids are having a great walk on the beach.
Yes, sir, they are. And we just got back to Thailand. Jay, I told John and others that I went down, while we were in Kuala Lumpur for a month, and we moved to a new side of Kuala Lumpur, and it turned out to be our best trip ever. And I gave everybody a piece of paper and told them to write down where they want to go. I said, we can go to Boracay and stay there for 2 or 3 months. We can go anywhere you want to go, including Taiwan, Hong Kong, anywhere. And they said, I got 5 slips of paper back that all said, back to Phuket. So here we are, back to Phuket. We have a little democracy going on in our house. I'm happy everywhere I go. I enjoy, like I've been to Taiwan tons of times. I enjoy these places tremendously. Some are more or less kid friendly though. So I like to open it up and give them a chance to decide. So I don't know, maybe by September I'll send them back to the Philippines for a couple months when I'm on my business trip. Maybe back to Boracay. But I always give it out for a vote. And this is the first time that everybody picked the same place. And we were just here. That's how much they loved it. No, we like all of Thailand. Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Pattaya, Bangkok, here. It seems like I'm leaving a few of them out. But Thailand is a very special place. And if you haven't been, I think if you had to pick one place to come and explore, Thailand would probably be the place. That's why they've had such great tourism over the years. The people are the nicest and sweetest people. Of course, we love Vietnam still. Vietnam, we're going to be living in Vietnam at least 6 months a year. Vietnam got it pretty hot right now, which is why we moved for the summer. I like to follow the weather.
They just ask, is Phuket more expensive than Pattaya? Is Phuket more?
Well, for us, it's cheaper than Pattaya. We were spending, the places that we went to the same place twice, two different times in Pattaya, and we spent like $1,600 a month or $1,800 a month. I can't remember. I think it was $18 one month time and cheaper in the lower season. And we're spending about, I think it's with the current conversion, it's about $1,200. Now, the thing that is a little bit more expensive here would be grab rides. But there's so much to do here for free that you almost don't need to spend a lot of money once you get there. If you can ride your own motorcycle or take a smaller vehicle. Plus, they have like the bot bus type thing. They got all that shit. They have a nightlife that's huge. Not as big as Pattaya, I would say. But it's probably one of the top 3 places in the world. I mean, certainly Phuket, Pattaya, and Bangkok have to rank 1, 2, 3. And I guess Angeles City might come in number 4 if you're into the nightlife scene. So I would rate this at least tied with Bangkok. I still got to say Pattaya is still the king of nightlife. But now when you get into beaches and nature, there's no comparison. Phuket blows away Pattaya. No one's going to be in the water in Pattaya.
How's the water temperature?
Water temperature is perfect. Perfect. I would say in US numbers, it's somewhere between 72, 73 degrees, maybe 74. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning here, somewhere between 8 and 9. You can see them surfing right there. Shan did surfing the last time we were here. We'll definitely get her hooked up on that again. But you know what happens here around 9 or 10, much like Boracay, it gets way too hot and we gotta hightail it and come back here around 4:30 or 5. And then the sun is down by 6:30, 7-ish. There's the Hip Hop Honey Co. Say hi to J Doll and John S. Celia's Corner. And J Doll bought Honey Co.'s book. Thank you so much, J Doll. And there's Shan Shan. All right. Well, so back to the advice column thing. Stop going to the Philippines and sitting in a fucking fan room
What a beautiful family. You are blessed.
and get out and explore, man. Every country, Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, Philippines, Vietnam, and of course here Thailand, Malaysia. They're all easy to explore if you have a Filipino passport. You can also go to Taiwan or Hong Kong on a Filipino passport, and it's only an hour to 15 minutes away on flight from Manila. And as expensive as those places sound, even those places you can find some cheap deals if you know where to look. Explore the world, explore the, if anyone's living in the US, just exploring the US. I was telling them yesterday that if I didn't have to still work, my dream deal would be move back to the US, get a Winnebago, a big old motorhome, and go to all 48 states. Get out there on the road, rolling, rolling, rolling.
How about Philippine YouTube community is wild. It is my guilty pleasure. Interest Monster, is there a restaurant in the water at the end of the beach? I think that was one of the biggest drama spots during
I think
COVID.
so. I think so, yeah. This is at the end of Kata Beach this way, going toward the south. And if you go this way, the other side of that hill is Coron Beach, which is really fabulous. What were we saying? Oh, yeah. The Philippine community is really wild right now. I mean, Mad Matt, God bless his little heart. He's ranting and raving a lot. Today, I saw before we walked out here, he went to do a live stream. I rarely get a chance to watch this stuff, but if I see it, I'll say hi, just greet the guy. And who?
Exciting. Exciting to
Who is that?
exciting to fruit shop. Shop a lovely morning.
Thank you for your greetings. It's so bright in my eyes. I can't even read the comments.
Zaydan said
What?
that the oldest daughter of yours, now you look taller than her.
Oh, she's several inches taller. She's 5'7", Jay. 5'7". Good thing I'm around because we've had situations. We let her work part-time as a waitress at when we were in Vietnam. We have friends that own places right next to where we live, just for her to get some experience and some money of her own. And they think that she's older, and there'll be guys that'll be all flirty or asking for phone numbers, and I happen to be sitting right there. And I'll stand up and say, "Why do you want the phone number of my daughter?" And you could just see, I'm 6'7". You can imagine. Oh my gosh, if you could capture on camera the look. It's unbelievable. You guys want to do the boogie board right now, or do you want? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, it's not that bright right now. We can probably get away with it.
Gonna get some.
It was super sunny. Yeah, I think we'll get one chair.
There, dito na. Put in the chair. Ay, there. What's
It was 100. I'm sorry. It was super sunny when we first walked out.
How did the restaurant work experience go?
Fantastic. We have two of them right next door. One is owned by a Serbian man and his wife from Vietnam, and another one is owned by.
How much? One? Two? 200. Okay, 200.
Okay.
Here. John S. said, "Oh boy, glad you are there."
So I started working when I was 12 years old, and I worked at a bowling alley doing scorekeeping. And I started off with my parents' league. You guys probably remember these leagues. I'm sure all of you can remember that far back. But they used to have to do manual scorekeeping. They had these transparencies and these yellow pencils. You remember that? So I started working, and then I would get something like $10 a night plus free food. Then they'd let me bowl as long as I wanted to after. So my parents would come, and we would bowl till 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I worked at the stadiums in Southern California, Anaheim Stadium and Dodger Stadium. I worked as a peanut guy. Peanuts, get your peanuts here. And that was a dream job because I got to meet all the players. And I was a huge fan. I made $100 a game, basically, and had free food. Got to watch the game. You work 4 hours when you're a teenager. This is back in the 1980s. Before that, I had worked at Taco Bell, and I made $3.50. So after your Social Security, you walk away with $25. You throw the peanuts around, you walk away with 100. I remember working certain special events like the Michael Jackson concert, a Billy Graham crusade, monster trucks, things like that. I would make $200. And on football season, I usually made $200 a game, but they only had 8 games at home.
Good work ethic. According
So I'm a
to the-
big believer in that. Plus, she's about 4 years ahead academically of where she should be for her age. So I happen to believe one of the big things that's missing in American education is the work ethic side. I just saw a statistic the other day by Linda McMahon, who was, brother, Vince McMahon Sr., he was a class act. But Vince Jr., he ripped me off. I was the Intercontinental Champion, and I lost it to Brutus the Barber Beefcake in Kuala Lumpur back in 1985. You remember that, Linda McMahon? The wife, she's the education secretary under Trump right now. She shared a statistic the other day that is absolutely staggering. The average college graduate has 87% of college graduates end up at jobs that don't require college. 87%, and about 90+% of them have something like an average of $90,000 in debt. They're paying a mortgage the day they graduate. They go and work at a job that doesn't require college. It's the biggest scam going. So she's way, way out in front for her age, especially in math and all the STEM subjects. And then we want to instill that work ethic. So they have to do their chores. They have to help every way imaginable. They have to learn how to cook, clean, and now at this age, go and help. And so she's not officially working. She gets free food from it. She gets tips. And it's only an hour or two here and there. And on the weekends, she might do 4 hours. She loves it. That's the one thing she didn't want to leave was those jobs because she's so popular in the city.
Papay one is there. Papay one said, did you get to eat all the tacos you wanted?
Oh.
John said, work ethic is so important.
It is. Work ethic's huge, John. And since Popeye's in here, I think he can vouch for that. Popeye's a triple dipper. He worked 20 years in the Navy. He worked for the county. He worked some other job. I think he got 3 pensions total. And, unfortunately, one of the reasons why so many of our people that go to the Philippines and these countries that never do anything, they never show anything, they're scared to turn on a fucking camera. They're scared to go anywhere because they didn't take care of their money. We export a lot of the worst that we have. And so they end up leaving the U.S. and sitting in a fan room, bitching and moaning and drinking. They should just stay home, get the freebies, get the free government cheese, and call it a day. But what would be better than that is go back to work, build another pension up, and that way in your golden years you can go out and actually enjoy your life and your retirement. So welcome in, Popeye. I didn't have, I had about 12 tacos.
Yeah, so Papay said that's because they take basket weaving 101.
They do. I mean, my gosh, I'm going to say this. I hate to say this, but when I was in school, I was in a STEM education, okay? And I was the only Caucasian in my class. I was the only one. And, it was dominated by Indian and Chinese students. I work in all these places, man. I mean, work-wise, we're busier than ever. We're growing at record levels right now. I'm now managing 3 companies. The other 2, the biggest one of the 3, majors in data centers, and the other one is hospital, healthcare, and laboratories. The data center world is growing at 46% per year, and I'm dealing with these people on a daily basis. The same thing with big pharma. If you think that you go to big pharma and you're going to see all the chemists and they're all going to be Americans, you are sadly mistaken. There's not an American in sight in any of these places.
Ron S. Popeye, long time no see. I hope you are well. Popeye once said, doing great, been stuck in the house. You are in a rainy season. Glad you are well.
Well, we're very glad to hear that everyone's killing it. All right, head on out.
Can be.
You have to make sure not to get fried
What is it?
You have to put on your shoes.
You didn't want to surf this time, huh? You got scared out of that? What did you get out of your work experience? The chat wants to know.
Well, I got the experience of being easily and actually not being socially awkward as I was before. That's what I
Getting to talk to people from all over the world, right?
and I feel a lot of stories, a lot of advice, and people will think, well, I'm younger than I have, what sort of life is it? And then I've also learned the technical skills of working in a restaurant, cook some few things, learning how to be friends with my colleagues, learning how to professionally work environment.
Now, when we make it back to Vietnam, do you want to go back to work? Okay. How about you, Wari? Do you want
I
to?
want to keep on making sushi.
You're too young for work. All right, go on out there, you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, it's time to play some Beach Boys music. Janet well-spoken daughter.
I put all these shorts. I did the top 25, was it? Or 30 Beatles shorts with Beatles songs. Now I just finished the top 10 CCR songs. These are according to me. And with the Beatles, there's so many you don't even know where to put. I tried to put half of them that were less known, just so people have something else to listen to. And then I'm going to think of who the next playlist will be, where we put original footage with those great songs. And those usually get somewhere between 300 to 1,000, sometimes 2,000 views.
Popeye once said, most of my Navy retired friends in Barrio Barito never do YouTube.
Well, on that note, okay, I know what you've said about your lifestyle. You go out to the parks, you do the scooter thing, you do bingo, you have a life, okay? And you don't want to share your intimate details of your life, and I appreciate that. We made the fateful mistake of introducing ourselves on YouTube back in 2019. Went through endless trolling, endless people contacting my work. The last 2 times people contacted my work, though, I got a raise each time, so I do appreciate that.
So they said, I think I just saw a shark fin. Where?
No, you didn't.
No, no.
And that's the once you make your life public. When I did it, I had no idea. This is still kind of early in the vlogging stage. We had vloggers back then. In fact, I used to listen to Popeye and Aloe and all the guys on RRR. But live streaming was relatively new. And there were a few vloggers like Ned and, of course, Fazio, Bud Brown. There was a few of them out there. So when I went on, I didn't think, well, first of all, I didn't think anyone would pay attention to it. I figured it's just going to be for the family and stuff. And everything was great until I met a female vlogger. We were going to do a collaboration. And the next day I woke up and I had about 500 comments from people that were threatening to kill me, kill my family, cut my children's head off. And I'm like, what did I get into here? And then I went through a period where I was doing live streams every day back in 2019 and 2020. And at first, no one's watching, but then I had sometimes 100 people plus watching. And once you hit that threshold, next thing you know, everybody and their brother's coming after you. So I went out, and I remember one show, I had 66 thumbs down before the show even started. So a lot of people were hating, and then, of course, they're contacting your family, they're contacting your work. That looks good. And you get sensitive to it at first. And then after many years, like stupid troll type stuff, you become very insensitive to it. Like at this point, for many years now, I don't even read the comments. I don't read anyone's comments. If I'm in a live stream like with Kevin, I don't read the comments. That way I don't get triggered by anything.
Like I said, most people in YouTube are mostly idiots. People in YouTube are mostly idiots who get in trouble. Ned is a liberal fool.
Well, I don't know anything about Ned. I don't know anything about his politics. I just know that he was one of the people that were on. I didn't pay much attention to anyone's show at that stage. I just knew they were doing things about the Philippines. And I moved to the Philippines in 2015, and I was able to stop watching because I'd been going to the Philippines for 30 years. I took business trips, sometimes 3 or 4 in a year. And then, of course, I lived there for 10 years. I lived there for all of 2009, and then, then 2015 onward. And so I would watch these guys at first, when I first moved in, and then they were never doing anything. They're just sitting in their room, living in a shitty place, babbling on. And I felt like I knew more about the Philippines than any of them, quite honestly, but I wasn't doing YouTube yet. Then I got to meet some of these people, like the Tim Kays of the world. These guys were clowns, just absolute clowns. I had a friend of mine, a female, meet Gio, and showed me all their correspondence about the visa for sex scandals, or they're gonna do the other thing, like, yeah, I want to be your boyfriend, but we need to see if we have the right chemistry. We're gonna have a little jammy festival here. You come, we're getting our jammies and spend the weekend cuddling up, watching Netflix. The old Netflix, come on.
Ned is from South Boston and does not watch that There is something wrong with him.
Well, I don't even think he exists anymore. I haven't seen Ned in years. But I think it was 2014. I might be off a little bit. Ned and Michelle would come on. And I remember thinking when I watched them, because there were so few people doing, I don't think anyone was doing live streams at that point, where you kind of looked at it and said, hey, gee, that seems like fun. It would be kind of fun to have a girl there in the Philippines and go around, blah, blah, blah. But I've never watched Ned since I lived there, and I don't know what his views are on anything. And I think I haven't seen his name pop up in a long, long, long time. Sometimes things come and go. I would listen to Kevin, and I would listen to the RRR group because they were controversial and they were funny, and I think people misunderstood them. They were exposing the riffraff and all the people that were trying to scam money off people. The RRR people never went after me because I never was monetized, never asked for money, wasn't trying to scam anybody. And the way I interpreted RRR was they were going after the true scumbags of the community. There were a lot of people scamming a lot of honest people out of their money, doing GoFundMe accounts, doing things for a heart surgery that needs to be done in the US, that they end up pocketing the money, things of that nature.
nice. It was wrong the way he dumped her.
Yeah, I don't know anything about how it ended or whatever. I really don't know anything about those people. But it seems like back then, you had Bud Brown, you had Mike Cason, the one that did a money grab. Bud Brown, Mike Cason, Ned, and Fazio. I don't remember any vloggers before that. Then around 2018, 2019, once live streaming started, it seemed like there was an avalanche of vloggers. So a lot of our friends, quote unquote, go to the Philippines. They don't ever go anywhere. They spend their entire time trying to convince you how great it is, even though they're drunk every damn day and they never show anything and they're constantly mired in controversy. And they never go to any other country. And like I was saying at the beginning of this broadcast, we stayed in Kuala Lumpur in a different neighborhood than we normally do on this last trip that we just left Kuala Lumpur yesterday. And the vibe was completely different. The places were different, the malls, the shops, everything that we experienced there was drastically different than the other places we had been to before in Kuala Lumpur. And we ended up liking it even more. We liked it a lot to begin with, but we liked it even more this time. And if you don't ever go anywhere, and you're gonna travel, you're a traveler, you're a vlogger. I'm not talking about people who are just watching. I'm talking about people who have channels now. Not everybody wants to go out and be a traveler. But why start up a YouTube channel and be a vlogger if you don't ever vlog? And your whole vlog is to tell us how a Filipino does this and a white person does that, and a Filipino, you need to deal with Tampo, and it's like the same old shit for decades. Okay, I'm gonna give you the biggie prescription for all those issues. Please share this with anyone. You tell the Filipina on day one that if you do the Tampo thing, you will be kicked out, out the door, and if you would try to lie to me, if you try to stab me in the back, you're out. And I've had famous experiences where they were out for 4 or 5 months. You have to establish that you're the man and you're not going to be led around like a pig with a ring around your nose or through your nose. But I've seen it because, I've been there for so long, time after time after time. The white man is just a slave. He's a servant. Simpiness happens. You are the prize when you go to the Philippines. Why are you simping out? They're so afraid they might be alone for a day or two. They end up becoming slaves to that woman just like they were slaves to the woman they left behind in the U.S. If you are in that category, you're better off going back to the U.S. and taking all the free government handouts you can and let the taxpayers pay for you rather than go and act like a simp in the Philippines. What Popeye saying?
Papa said RRR was about independent opinions and debate.
Well, that's what's needed. RRR is needed. I talked to all of you privately, Alo, Roberto, and you, not Jeff. And you need to have shows like that. There's nothing on YouTube right now. It's so fucking boring. How can anyone pay attention to it? I can't think of any show I could last more than 5 minutes. I wish there were shows. I wish there were all kinds of shows. But I don't want to hear more shows about how, you have to be careful with the Filipino. It's tiring, it's boring, it's predictable.
Jojo said, I am disappointed that no one has done a China live check on Drunk B.
Well, I did a show a week ago, I think it was, wasn't it? About 3 different people said that Frank died. Now, I gave it a disclaimer. Disclaimer, it's YouTube. Fazio was supposed to be dead twice before. When I met Fazio, I went to meet Fazio because Frank was saying that Fazio has been dead for a month and he stopped doing shows. And when we pulled up into Fazio land, there was a loudspeaker blasting Frank's voice. So before I saw Fazio, I could hear Frank's voice in the background, and I knew Fazio had to be alive. Now, my biggest concern when I met him was not so much if he had died, but if he had become incapacitated, like he had broken something, and he might not be able to get to his phone or something like that. Fazio was in bad shape though when I met him. The infections in his body were huge. Many people offered to try to get treatments, but he did not want to take those treatments. And so it's just a sad thing. But many times he was purported to have died. There was a time about 5 or 6 years before that, before COVID, I think it was 2019, Fazio went to do a visa run in New York. All of a sudden, Fazio's dead. And Richard Lee and Kevin have admitted that they've helped push that prank along. There's also multiple times that Kevin was supposedly had his feet chopped off. Another time his whole legs chopped off. Frank was saying that. I contacted Kevin, asked him to open up his camera. I want to check his legs, see if it's true. And he got up and there was nothing wrong with him. So I'm giving a disclaimer. I heard that Frank was dead.
Yes, Shabo said. I thought Ricky would be all over checking on Frank.
Well, Ricky was in Europe for quite a while, and I think he just got back to the Philippines, like the last few days. Cheers!
Frank has been mentally incapacitated. That's about it.
Well, he's a perfect example of what you don't want to have happen. You come to the Philippines, you meet one person. You claim you have all these girlfriends, but they never materialize. Let's see them. Let's see the proof. Let's see the receipts. Then you get rolled for 24,000 pesos on the first day you arrive. You end up with a woman with, 8, 10, 12 kids, whatever it is. And you didn't even know she had children for 2 years. You're so incapable that you don't even know a woman that had 8 to 10 kids. And then of course she lied to you the whole time, and then you're trying to justify it. It's pathetic. It's just so pathetic. Who would do that in the US? Who would take on that kind of a load? How could you have any experience with women and not know that this woman had that many kids unless you live a sexless life? And believe it or not, I'm not going to name names, but I can think of 4 people right now that are well-known vloggers that have come to me privately and told me that their dick hasn't worked in decades. What to do? Where's the medicine? What do you recommend? Who can I go see? Every one of them household names. So if you have it in your mind that people like that are out banging bitches, having a great time, partying. Nope, they're not. They're stuck in a room. They're watching YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The locals can't stand them. They don't want anything to do with them. That's why they can never show any videos with them. If any of you remember my videos when I was with, like when I met Jay and Ricky and others, I used to bring along my male and female Filipino friends. Sometimes I would have 20 people there. 5 or 6 female male friends that were Filipino. I was very plugged into the community, knew tons and tons and tons of people because I lived there.
Vidal is asking, does anybody have an update on Barry Jordan? Exit said he's looking naughty. Kapay said Barry is still in deluded prison and calling people for money. John S. says, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that, John. Ricky was blown away. He said, he came back the next day and said, it's true, Biggie has a harem. Well, I know a lot of people. I'm very involved. All through COVID, we were out partying every night after the first few months when they had the shutdowns. I was the only foreigner in town still. And they would leave the bars open until 11 p.m. and we would invite everyone. We would have 15 to 30 people every single Not every night. We probably went out 3 or 4 nights a week. Went to live bands. Would go to 3 or 4 places a night. If you make an effort, Filipinos will never come up to you and make an effort. They're very shy about doing that. But if you make an effort with them, they will make a tremendous effort with you. I have almost no, this is one of the reasons why I can't get more attention on YouTube. I don't have a lot of negative stories to tell about Filipinos. I was treated great. I've had tremendous friends. I brought 2 girls over to the US to live with me on tourist visas over the years. And none of them ever tried to steal from me or cheat or anything like that. I don't really have enough negative stories to tell. I mean, I'll tell the truth. I mean, there's a lot of slutty bitches over there. Every girl I ever met was one night standing. I mean, they were taking their pants off within the first, hour. But I don't look at that as a negative. That's one of the reasons why I'm there. I wanted to get some action.
Egyptian says, great impersonation of Ricky. And then Showboat said, Trump is jealous of you.
Well, I heard that he's jealous, but why would anyone be jealous of another man? Okay, so we got John S. here. He's been around for years. I don't know what John S.'s financial or lifestyle is. I have no idea. I don't know what Popeye makes. I don't know what his pension is. I don't know what his assets are. I want to remember that everyone says that I'm rich. I never told anyone I'm rich. I don't tell people unless I'm trying to needle them. So I talked about my stock market thing because I knew it would piss Frank off. That was in Cambodia about a year ago. And since Donald Trump has become president, my stock value has gone up by 40+%. We're talking $1.5 million or more. And it drastically U-turned when Donald Trump became president. It has continued to go up. I have continued to put thousands of extra dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in a month extra, and it's 100% Donald Trump. Trump lowered the taxes. Trump used tariffs to get factories to come and open up in a building boom. I'm involved in the construction world. We are designing laboratories, data centers, healthcare facilities. All 3 of them are growing at 40+%. I'm heavily invested in those companies, along with the tech companies. I started investing in it back in the early 1990s, before the boom happened, and I've never missed putting into that piggy bank. And I saw greater gains in Trump's first 4 years, and now since he's been elected, than I've seen in all those other years combined.
So what the name of this? It says here, Popeye was, the VA should lock Ricky up in the loony bin. Showboat said, Trump hates President Trump. Popeye said, Trump does not realize those who have money don't talk about money. Trump is a have-not. John S., how do you have time to sell air conditioner with all that work? LOL.
Well, the truth is I've never sold an air conditioner. But if you were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year selling $88 air conditioners, more power to you. But I don't know what other people make. I've been gone from the US for a long time. I know what people in mechanical engineering field make. A typical mechanical engineer with 5 years experience, they're starting anywhere from 160 to 108 grand. Okay? But mechanical engineering degree is equivalent of 7.5 years. It's 5 years on trimesters. That's what they average. That's what we pay people. I'm in charge of over 250 people. I know what they make. I don't know what anybody else makes. I don't know what Popeye makes. I don't know what you get paid to do all that. I don't know. I'm so out of touch with, I think Popeye was an E7, like a gunnery sergeant or whatever that equivalent would be in the Navy. And I don't know what a gunnery sergeant with 20 years in makes. I know they used to get half of their basic pay, but I'm not sure if that means they get the BAQ and the F8 VHA and all the other little perks, or is that just the basic? And does that get a cost of living? I have no clue, no concept of it. He could be making $4 grand a month right there, plus all his other money. I have no idea. Now, let's say that he was making half of what I make, or he was making twice as what I make. Why would you be jealous of that? You did your best. You make what you make. I really don't have the slightest clue what other people make in other professions. I don't spend any time in those professions. I don't know. But I know I've been very blessed. I live a very comfortable, good life, but I work like crazy. We took a month off of the book work because we were making a ton of money on it and spending a lot of time. We decided to take a month off. We're probably going to take this month off too. But the money keeps pouring in every month from the books. It's passive income now. And I probably, at the heyday when the books were being written, I probably was working 90 hours a week between my real job and the books. So if I made an extra $205,000, which I did, don't blame me. Go write your own books and go out and sell them. Or find another form of income that is lucrative. So yeah, there's never an excuse for men to be jealous of other men. It's retarded beyond belief. Any one of us can go back to work. My mom was still working up until the age of 84 or 83 or 84. And that's not because she needed the money, it's because she loved working. She retired at 73. She got bored, went back to work. Don C. retired for 3 years, went back to work, just made $1.6 million in his pocket off his new company. People would spend more time being productive and less time bitching and being jealous of other people. Their life would be a hell of a lot better. But the way you start to make it better, look, here's a little clue. You don't sit in your room watching YouTube 24 hours a day and bitching. You go out and you start traveling, you start meeting people, you start getting ideas, talk to other successful people. As you travel, you'll see guys that are very successful. You'll meet people that are killing it. They're digital nomads or whatever they're doing. Go talk to those people. What are you doing? What did you do to get ahead? What's the game plan here? And then you'll be amazed how you can get plugged in with people. You get contacts that way. And you're never going to get those contacts hiding and hibernating and trying to convince all of us how great your life is in your bullshit fan room and with all of your friends that never can be seen on camera. Did I miss anything?
John is always happy to see people doing that.
I am too. When I hear a success story, I have different people in our industry when they first, achieve the six-figure income. A lot of times that's our, the first goal. I want to make over $100,000 a year. And when I've seen that happen, and they call you up and they go, "Wow," we celebrate with them. When someone loses their job and they're unemployed, they're homeless or anything like that, we mourn with them. This is the Beatitudes. Rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep. When somebody is down and out, don't expect me to come by and try to kick sand on their grave. I'm not interested in that. When Fazio died, I had a lot I could have said. The guy was on a rampage against me for a long time. I didn't say anything though, because why am I going to go kick sand on his grave? Why am I going to kick sand into the face of somebody who's down and out, who's struggling, who's lost all their money or found out that their girlfriend cheated on them or something like that? It doesn't make me happy. Even if it happened to an idiot like Frank, I wouldn't be happy about it. I actually think that the greatest punishment the Philippine government could ever give Frank is to never come after him. Let him sit there and suffer for what he's done.
Hello, my one according to Internet Monster. The yellow one.
The yellow man did 1,800 hours of research against me, contacted my work. I got a massive raise after that, by the way. What can I say? I mean, I met the guy twice. The guy was a total fraud, and it was all show and tell. It was all for the viewers only. Never met a human being that lived a worse life than he did in real life. The first seconds I met Fazio, he pulls me off to the side, pulls one of his balls out of his pants, and shows it to me hanging down to his knee. It's like, why would you do that? The guy was a weirdo and a nut job, and very few people ever met him, so they can't verify that, but we met him. But you know what? The guy died right after that, right? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna, he's not even there anymore. You could say it in the historical, put it in context. But, oh, and by the way, that's my little boy there named Ethan. I think Nico was asking on Kevin's show if it was Nathan or Ethan. It's Ethan, Ethan. Ethan looks almost exactly like I looked at a young age, except he's got brown eyes and I have blue eyes.
Internet Monster. I definitely would have stayed at the whole 5-star hotel if he was there.
No, you wouldn't.
You were
The
being
place
the
was in
middleman.
the place was in the shittiest area you've ever seen in your life.
Look,
Squatters galore. It was just pitiful, absolutely pitiful.
what?
Now I'm going to use Internet Monster as an example of what you should be if you're going to be an expat or if you're going to be a traveler. Okay, this is a should be, not should not be. Everyone else I just mentioned is what you should not be. Let's look at Internet Monster. Let me tell you some of Internet Monster's secrets. Look at him. What does he do? He travels to Bali. He travels to Vietnam. He goes up to Hanoi. He went to Da Nang. He does the Philippines. He's been on cruises. He lives the life that we all should be living. Now, I wish I could be more like him in one sense, but I'm a family traveler. I take my family everywhere. I was a single traveler though for many, many years, and I probably live more of the life that Internet Monster lives right now. But if you're a solo guy or you just have one girlfriend, or just one girlfriend or more, no, but if you only have one other person, then get out there and do what Internet Monster does. Get out there and take on the world and show the damn rest of us what it's all about. J Mike? J Mike is in the house. I love J Mike. J Mike started his show yesterday, and I think we were at the airport, and it looked like he had a halo over his head. It was all bright, looked like an angel. J Mike is an angel. J Mike is from Massachusetts, Popeye, if you're still there, just like you. Married to Norma. They live in Rizal Province, which is right next door to Metro Manila. Jay does his Jeepney J series where he goes out and shows all kinds of jeepneys. Plus he does the walking tours, showing you the real Philippines, the nitty gritty, hardcore from, where was he at? Quiapo, Baclaran, Santa Mesa, all of the hardcore places that might scare people off even, but at least he's showing the truth, getting out there doing it. In addition to that, J Mike was a controller for a hotel chain in his career, big hotel chain, and he is an expert ice skater.
Internet Monster says, I enjoy seeing different places. J Mike says the bunches of overhead wires. Monica, that should be Internet Monster, not staring at the wall.
That's my son, J Mike, right there, named Ethan. He's 2 years old, and we have the girls are all down on the beach there right now with boogie boards. Yeah, I agree with you, Internet Monster. You know, if you're gonna get to that certain age, go out. I'm addicted to it. We will go home, right? This happens to us a lot, right? April and Honeycomb. Go back to Vietnam, and we say we're gonna skip the next trip. We're gonna do just a visa run, border run, and come back same day. Well, I said that this trip, and now we've already been out for 2.5 months.
They make a wow, good memory.
Well, we are J Mike and Norma Mike fans. But you get that travel bug back in you, right, Internet Monster, where you say, I can feel it, I can taste it, I want to get back out there. We've probably been to 5 or 6 places in Thailand, and we love them all, but we truly love this one the most. This is our favorite. This is Phuket. And I'm not saying we've been to everywhere. I'm sure there's a lot of people with a lot more Thailand experience than us. But for our own taste, Phuket is incredible. It's got 2 of the biggest malls in Asia. It's got phenomenal food, the best beaches I've seen. That's why I love Da Nang, and that's why I love here. If I had to pick 2 places, I'm going to pick Da Nang during the non-summer months, meaning June through August. Da Nang is unbelievable weather from September on to May. And then I'm going to pick here for these summer months.
I love the big mall, all of the day mall.
Yeah, they have huge malls here, and right here on this island. They have it in Pattaya as well. Of course, Bangkok is probably the mall capital of the world. And they have some really elaborate malls. My gosh, what is it? Icon Siam, Siam Center, Central World. The malls at Prom Prom, all the Terminal 21s, Central Pattaya. There's so many, my goodness. It's like a mall on every corner.
Paragon. And
Paragon, yeah.
a
Lot of malls.
Here, Central Phuket. There is
The 2 malls here in Phuket are the 2 probably biggest malls you'll see outside of a place like Bangkok. They're like Bangkok malls. But I would say the most impressive mall place I've seen is probably Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, exactly.
The malls in Malaysia are just absolutely massive. And even the small ones, they have so many of them. Like almost every stop you'll get on the monorail or anywhere is going to have a mall attached to it.
Yeah,
And even some of the rail stations have malls attached to it, the size of decent sized malls.
Internet Monster. You should head down and check out Koh Lipi, eventually nice little island.
Fifi?
What is that? Lipi? Koh Lipi, eventually. Nice little island. So Biggie, you are telling me winters is downtown Detroit is out?
Absolutely, winters in downtown Detroit. Yeah, we're going to take a few trips, Internet Monster, on some islands. PP Island, and probably going to go over to Krabi.
Samoa?
No, Koh Samui's on the other side. You have to take a plane to get there.
Krabi, 3 hours here.
Krabi, I think, is a 3-hour ferry ride. And Fifi Island is, they have a speedboat and a ferry. Depends on. Yeah, Detroit's out. Detroit's out 12 months a year. You know, it's a sad thing about Detroit. This is where the big government runs amok. What we need in Detroit was one time had the highest GDP per capita of any big city in America. Seems hard to believe. But all of the globalists let all the factories go away in Detroit and turn the place into a shithole. Same thing with Baltimore. Baltimore is horrible. And a lot of the big cities in America are just absolutely horrendous. I'm not the biggest fan of Manila in the world. It's pretty shitty. But I feel safer in Manila than I do in lots of the big cities of America.
And they might because of auto industry.
Well, not just auto industry. You can go to places in South Carolina. You can go all around the United States where the globalists came in and shipped everything to China. When you hear Trump talk about how he has $19 trillion in investments to come in and reshore a lot of the industry back into America, when all the chip manufacturing in Arizona is built out, I think Arizona will be the second largest chip place in the world. We just gave all this shit away, like all these type of jobs. So Detroit was once a great place to be, and then it became the shittiest place. I would like to go back to Washington, D.C. because Trump says that because they put the National Guard there, crime was down like 90% or something like that. I lived for a short time in Alexandria, Virginia, and I loved going into the city, but it got a little edgy.
Hi.
Hi,
Guam.
Ethan boy.
Guam, hi. Say hi. Guam. Ay, naku. They might Obama did that. Then internet, Riley Beach is another great spot. Riley Beach. Really?
Look that one up, April.
I will go there.
Yeah, we'll go to all of those because we're going to be here for at least a month, and we might stay, but we might go to Koh Samui for a month.
Yeah, Riley Beach. Good.
I have to go to Abu Dhabi in the beginning of September, and then I'm taking a multi-week trip into Europe, Albania, Georgia, Romania, Bulgaria, Germany, Poland, and the Netherlands.
So come there.
That sounds impressive, but most of those are 2 days per stop of presentations. So when I'm gone there, they're going to probably stick around here, and then, well, that'll bring us back to Vietnam in the middle of, or the end of September. I did offer us to go to Boracay for 2 to 3 months. I wanted to go back. We lived there before. We loved it there, but they wanted to come here. So there is a chance we'll go back to Boracay for a few months.
It's part of Krabi.
Oh,
Riley Beach.
and Krabi. Okay,
Yeah, I have to check everything there.
we'll definitely check that.
Everything. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And then our home base is always going to be Da Nang. We've decided that's always going to be the home base. And we love it in Da Nang, love it in Da Nang, love the Vietnamese people. But Vietnam in July and August is really hot, 38 degrees, 39 degrees. And we just said, why do it when we can have 30 degrees? And we woke up this morning, came down here, it was 28 degrees. I think it's about 30 right now, 31. So we're going to probably follow the weather a little bit as we age. We lived up in Hanoi during the winter one year, a few years ago, and it would get down below 10 degrees. That was quite fun, quite interesting. I'll tell you right now, if the air quality in Hanoi was better, the air quality is very bad in Hanoi, but if the air quality was good in Hanoi, that would probably be the place I would pick over all these other cities. I absolutely enjoy Hanoi big time. But the air quality, I'll tell you, you out walking, we're doing 10 to 20,000 steps a day. By the time you get done with that day, you feel like you smoked 3 packs of cigarettes. And I've never smoked before, never smoked cigarettes, but it's what I would think it would feel like if I did. Ethan,
Luwang good. Takbo ka na. Perfect weather after day, Michael said.
it really is, man. When you get in the Philippines, see, the Philippines, the shitty one is March, April, May. It's 38 degrees, 40 degrees. That's the summer there. Now in Da Nang, it's higher up on the globe. So it's like the U.S. weather. It's June, July, and August, or in the beginning of September, it's hot. But in Da Nang, from about October to May, it rarely will break 30 degrees. I mean, it sometimes be like in the low 20s up to the high 20s at the most.
My internet man said, I like Hanoi, but agree air quality was bad.
Yeah, imagine if they fixed that problem though. That's a city that's the size, it's 1,400 square miles. It's got developments going everywhere. It's got malls galore. It's got culture and food that is phenomenal. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump to Sapa and to Halong. But I'm with you. I can't do it because it's just the air. The air is it. I feel like I'm spewing out dust out of my lungs. And the big Ho Chi Minh, Saigon. Saigon is so nice, so nice. We were blown away in District 1. What was the other district we were in? Was it 13? 7, 13. There was a few of them. But even there, I could feel it, you know. Because in Da Nang, where we literally live 30 seconds from the beach, we don't get any accumulation of pollution in the air. But there's none here. I mean, this is like going out to the country with grandma over here. This is beautiful, man. Ooh.
Jada is asking, April and Monica, what are your favorite American foods?
Well, before they answer, let me answer. Anything that once had a heartbeat, they'll eat. Well, what is your favorite American food?
All American food are good. You meat, so
No, what American dish?
American food. I don't know what's the name of it. I like the steak.
Steak.
The steak is really amazing.
Like a really good steak. We went to a steakhouse. That's up there.
Steak is really amazing.
So you think of burgers, you think of hot dogs, fried chicken.
Sausage,
We had a lot of great sausage lately that was imported from America.
yeah.
Um,
Restaurant.
what's your favorite type of food?
Anything that has a heartbeat.
No, if I said we're gonna go to a restaurant today, will you pick any one you want? Or in Bangkok, let's say.
The Mexican.
Where? You guys are both pick Mexican too?
Yeah. Those Mexican.
That's
food are
it.
really amazing.
They're properly brainwashed, Jay. I got them into Mexican food.
Mexican really, yeah. So good.
Well, we go to Mexican food like
Enchilada.
probably in Kuala Lumpur. We went about 3 days a week, right?
That's so good.
Maybe 4 days a week. We love Korean barbecue. We love Japanese grill type food. We like Mexican, Italian, British food, American food.
What are your international kids' favorite food?
Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue, yeah.
Korean barbecue is the one thing that everybody craves for.
Korean barbecue. I like a good taco. Yes, J Mike. It's really like if
Yeah,
you are
man.
gonna go to
The place we went to in Kuala Lumpur, La Chica in
La
Bukit
Chica.
Bintang,
yeah.
unbelievable. That's if that was in the U.S., I would go to it.
That's really one of the best taco
There's
ever.
2 different ones, one that have the name Chica in it. One is at the TRX Mall,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Exchange, which is a super amazing mall, high end, with a real Apple store. That was phenomenal. That shit is unbelievable. In Bangkok, there's a lot of great Mexican restaurants. Like one of them's called Charlie Brown's.
Yeah.
Of course, we go to Sunrise Tacos a lot. The Default, which is at Terminal 21, they got one of those here too at Central Phuket. Yeah.
Certificate. Uy, doon. Makontrol na. Not yet. Uy, one. Anda ka, one.
So if anybody can find out whether Frank is still alive, please post it somewhere. I did my eulogy. I sang taps for Frank, and I'm gonna end this show with another tribute to Frank. It's gonna last about 10 seconds.
J Mike first said, enchiladas are pretty good too. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what we had in Kuala Lumpur. We had at the one that's at TRX. They have enchiladas there that are just to die for.
I had some good Mexican food in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas should have a lot because it's closer to the border. I grew up in Los Angeles, where Mexican food is very, very common, and I ate that all my life. And they'll tell you, there's no hot food that's hot enough for me. I can handle and tolerate DEFCON 5.
Okay.
The other one that can handle it is January. She loves hot food. Everybody else likes it mild.
Okay.
I'm born fine.
You don't like hot food, right? How about soul food? April says, as a woman of color. Just kidding.
Pagitan, pagitan. Burantan. Oh, there's someone
What's nice when you come out early and do this is they'll burn through all their energy,
Ethan, what's your favorite food?
and then they'll go back and they'll take a nice long nap. He eats about everything you have. He just eats off of our plate. Pizza?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
chicken.
Chicken. Anything that has heart makes Ethan like
He
it.
likes omelets too. Breakfast food, I would say.
Yan. Yun. Yun.
I posted a video, short video, from 2 days ago of me doing leg presses, about 850 to 900 pounds. I'm setting the PRs. And I bring it up not to boast, but to say that just because you're in your 50s doesn't mean you can't get in there and get strong again and feel better. Go to the gym, do resistance training, get on the bike, do walking, and do swimming. And if you don't have weights and you want resistance, you can use resistance bands and other apparatuses that are very cheap to help you keep that muscle mass.
Agree. Absolutely agree.
April goes with me to the gym. Honeyco used to go to the gym, right?
That's a great leg press.
Well, I had all those plates, how much as the machine would hold. I had to put April up on top of it. And if I want to go any heavier, I'm going to have April and Honeyco go on top of the machine. You know what I do? I think I could do it. It would be a personal record. But each of those plates is 45 pounds. They have different sizes, but they're all 20 kilo plates. So with the apparatus and all, you can do it, but sometimes you'll feel it strain on the inside part of your leg a little bit. And if I feel a little bit of a strain, like something's about to pop, I just stop. I don't want to pull anything. I'd rather not hit a personal record. If I feel it, anything, just even the slightest amount of tearing. Of course, I'd love to do 1,000 pounds. I think that'd be phenomenal, but I don't think it's wise to go to that length. Just do more reps.
Yep. Ethan is going to take a long nap after this according to Jayden. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jay, he will. He'll just sleep for hours.
Up, down, up, down. Ganyan na lang.
Well, this brings up another topic, and didn't mean to bring this up, but I will.
What
In Kuala Lumpur, the place we were staying in had soft beds. Okay. The main master bedroom, the bed was it was almost like a trampoline or something.
Waterbed.
A waterbed, like an old waterbed from the 1970s. And it was weird. If I got in there by myself, I felt like I was in the middle of a taco or something. Then we get to our beds here, and they're as hard as a rock.
Oh, that's good. Hard rock.
And even though it might not sound as good to have a harder bed, we all slept like crazy when we got here.
Yeah.
Longer than we've slept in years. Because that bed was hard, but not too hard. And we all just died on the bed. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely love it. Not worth the risk, according to John S. on the leg press.
Yeah, if you, I mean, there's an ego thing, and I'll borrow a Frank Battagliaism, big ego. I'm not doing it for the ego thing. I'm doing it more for to keep myself motivated. If I can do a little more than last time, I feel okay. I can't wait to get back there and do it again. And you don't want to see it declining. But there's certain lifts like that one, squatting, deadlifts, that for many years all I did was powerlifting moves, not bodybuilding moves. Now I do more bodybuilding moves because they're safer. I went for 20 years without doing my biceps because I just, they're big enough. You get enough work with them when you work in your back muscles and so on. And then I started working them directly with much lighter weights. And so the bodybuilding moves are much safer, no question about that. And but you get in the thick of it. You get in the thick of it, and then your competitive drive comes back, and you said, okay, let me put another plate on there. But the problem is with leg press or squats, its poundages are so extreme. One wrong move and you're toast. You're finished. So I'm probably gonna try one more time, and then I'm gonna drop it down 100 pounds each time, and just do heavier rep ranges. I change it up sometimes too, where I'll do a few months of the Vince Gironda method, where you do the same weight called 8x8s. You put on, let's say on a bench press you have 185 pounds. You'll do 8 sets of 8 with only 30 to 40 seconds rest in between. That was the Vince Gironda, the great trainer's method. I feel like I get a lot out of that, but then I stall, and then I go back to the more of the pyramiding style, progressive overload style.
Yeah.
This is one more. Yeah, this is what this one
Oh, this one. No, no. Oh,
All
what a
right.
view, John S. said.
What?
Just now, John S. said, what a view.
Yeah, you can't beat this view. And I will say that the beaches in Vietnam are probably the best overall beaches. But this is probably a slight cut above because the sun sets over here in the afternoon, whereas in Vietnam the sun is rising, and we're not early risers, so we don't get as many sunrises. But as far as the view and the beauty, this will rival any place probably in the entire world. We lived in Boracay before, and we loved Boracay. The problem is the entire first 100 yards of the water in Boracay was all green with algae. There's so much poop out there that it just ruined the water. If you went on the north side up to the Puka Shell beach, then it was clean. But if you station 123 and Dinwiddie Beach, the algae was just shocking. But the island itself, when it's clean, is beautiful. But Phuket is over 100 times the size, I believe, of Boracay. So there's just a lot more natural beauty here. They also have surfing. They have a lot of activities here they don't have. But Boracay is a great place to go. Here is a great place to go. Bali is a great place to go. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And all along the coast of Vietnam, from Cam Ranh Bay all the way up to Da Nang, and hundreds of miles of beautiful coastline. Those are the real beach destinations in Southeast Asia.
According to J. Mike, been to summer once, great beach there. Internet monster. You ever see the guy on the leg press machine and locked out with huge weight? Didn't end well. According to internet monster.
I know. I used to do 9 plates. Okay, sometimes I would push it to 9 plates plus some 25s. So I don't know what that ends up being because that's it's somewhere with the mechanism about 900 something pounds. April weighs 50 something kilos, so that's an extra 120 pounds, let's say. She was on the mechanism. So I don't know the exact number, but it was pretty crazy. What did Jay say?
Been to summer once. Great beach there.
Samar, yeah, Samar's very pretty. In fact, I thought Samar was one of the prettiest places I've seen in the Philippines, Samar and Leyte. But they don't have established beaches, that's the problem. The poverty in Samar is so extraordinary. The other problem in Samar is almost all of the typhoons hit Samar, so people don't go there. Another place that's really beautiful is in Zamboanga, but a lot of people are afraid to go there because of the terrorism activities.
The charity called Boracay Cook Island.
Who?
According to Internet Monster, the
It
charity
was.
called Boracay Cook Island was shut down when I was in the Philippines.
It was, and we went back to Boracay the first week it was open,
Yes, sir.
and it was perfect. And then we went back after COVID, and it had been sitting there for 2 years. And we lived there. We lived there for 6 months, I think. But we noticed by the time from when we started to when we left 6 or 8 months later, the water had become green everywhere. Like it looked like right here where I'm pointing, that whole section, like somebody had taken grass clippings, like they mowed the largest golf course ever, and just laid it all out. And it was truly disgusting. You'd have to walk through algae to get out into the water. And the place where the microtel used to be in Dinwiddie Beach, it looked like an entire pond was there now, like a swamp. But if you go up to Phuket Island, it's still very, very pristine. And they're building all this new stuff they've been building called Boracay New Coast on the other side of the island. That's a total disaster. No one's going to go there. They're not building out anything. The water's infested with jellyfish. It's beautiful to look at, but no one's going to get in that water if they know what's good for them.
First, Jane said, gotta go to the island of Leyte for the beaches. Thank you.
I did, and I've been in Baliran, which used to be part of Leyte. Stayed up there for a week, got a motorcycle, went to all the
Thank you so much.
I went to all of the waterfalls there in Leyte and Baliran. And it is a beautiful place. But see, it's very interesting. Leyte was getting 157 inches of rain a year, the same time that Cebu was getting 30 inches. Even though they look close to each other on the map, if you got off the airplane from Cebu and went to Leyte, it felt like 20 degrees hotter because the humidity was so extraordinary. But it is beautiful. But let's be real, man. The Philippines cannot compete with Thailand and Vietnam or Malaysia at the moment. It's just too many negatives. And most of the time when you go to a province, it's not developed, the food is awful, and it's just not there yet.
Agree. Not yet. Not yet.
I mean, it has potential because it's got 7,600 islands.
If they open the economy, if they actually let investors to work with it and let the government just back off
Yeah,
of
they'd have
the
to
country.
get rid of all the corruption. We had a person we were dealing with in Malaysia that gave us a rundown on what Malaysia was like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. He was an older gentleman. And he said that back then Malaysia was just as corrupt as the Philippines. And they got rid of a lot of that corruption is why it's so prosperous right now. The Philippines right now is so corrupt and so much bullshit that it's truly the laughing stock of the world. And you'd have to get rid of virtually everybody and start over, truly.
Exactly. The
It's not
infrastructure.
competitive. They can't get anybody to go there anymore. The tourism numbers are pitifully low, and it's a shame.
John S. says, have you ever been to Intalula Beach, Palawan, Philippines? Intalula.
I don't remember that name, but I've been to Puerto Princesa, Coron, and El Nido. I don't remember the name of the individual beaches. If you are someone who has time and you got a small boat and you can jump in and out of boats a lot, El Nido and Coron are very amazing.
Yeah.
And they're very similar to Ha Long Bay in Vietnam, very similar vibe. And I think Krabi's like that, and some of the other islands, they have a lot of the limestone structures. We just bought one a minute ago. Thank you.
It's cute, tiger.
That's not that.
It's a tiger.
That's not that unlucky medallion that Greg Brady had in the Brady Bunch, right?
I
Remember
don't know
that
what
one?
is that.
I put it in the water na.
It's really
Okay.
cool. It's really cool. It's a tiger. Thank you.
There are places in the Philippines though that there's outliers. You know, Makati, BGC, Iloilo's pretty nice. The problem in the Philippines right now though is, just as an example, I can live in the Philippines in my old condo in Makati, and it's 140,000 pesos a month. For something that's nicer right next to a world-class beach in Da Nang, it's going to be a third of the cost. With better food, internet, the internet's going to cost one third. The electricity's going to cost a third. There's no traffic. The food is way better, and the beach is right there. See, that's the thing. Like, it's just not cost competitive at the moment. If the Philippines was back to being cheaper than these places, then you could make the case for being there that it's cheaper. But if you got to rent, and this is where J. Mike is not renting, so he probably wouldn't know this, but if you had to rent condos in city centers and you try to compare Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, and Manila, you're looking at, it's not even in the same league.
Yeah, Mike said, you can afford it. John S. said, LOL, Disney.
Well, I don't want to afford it though. Why would I want to live in a third world country and spend more than I would spend in Boston? Why? I mean, literally, the cost to live in a good place in Makati is more expensive than the U.S. I mean, I could live in Singapore for that price.
John S.
I could live in Tokyo for half that price. Literally, I'm not even joking. You got to remember, when I lived there before, I'm talking about in the very same place I lived before. It was 16,000 a month, and then now it's 144, 150, 145.
John S. said, understood. Da Nang makes much better sense. J. Mike said, yes, I know the price.
Oh, Da Nang is so much better than. I mean, Vietnam blows the Philippines away. It's not even close. Philippines is at the bottom of every list. I mean, see, if you're in Jay's situation where you have a house already there, that's a whole different ballgame. But when you're looking at prices, the food prices, the internet, you know how much money we spent in Boracay for just the water alone was 17,000 pesos a month. My water bill in Da Nang is the same for the entire year what I pay in Boracay for a month. And then my internet is $7 a month for, 850 MBS. See, you just go down the list, there's just no comparison whatsoever. When I first moved to the Philippines was dirt cheap. And it was worth it because, and I think we'll all admit the Philippines has a lot of natural beauty. We're not saying anything about the natural beauty. We're talking about city life and living life in the real world. that's where the comparisons start to fall off.
J-Max said, we have a nice looking place. Food is getting expensive, but we eat good food. John S says, wow, J-Max electricity is going up here.
Oh, I know. I mean, you look at it like you have the highest electricity rates in Asia.
So true.
Malaysia has the lowest. Philippines has the highest. It's literally 4 times the cost. And like if you just compare, like just compare Malaysia, it's 15 to 20% cheaper to live there now. It's the best infrastructure, best food, best malls, top education, top healthcare. Philippines is on the bottom of every list. That's why 40 million people went to Malaysia and only 4 million people went to the Philippines. The Philippines numbers are so pathetic that they started counting OFWs as tourists. Break out the number, you'll see that they are under 5 million people a year that are going to the Philippines. And Malaysia's at 40 million and it's in the mid 30s for Thailand. I know because I lived in all these places. I don't need the vloggers to point this out, but I've lived in these places.
Yeah. J-Max said, Marcos told Miralco to stop charging more for the repairs.
And Morelco told Marcos to go shove it up his ass. President doesn't have anything that he can do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when Duterte told Globe and Smart about all the outages they were having during COVID. They pointed out that Globe had 9,000 towers that were rejected by the government. There's nothing that government can do but get out of the way. And the problem is they are the most corrupt country. And we were going to build a factory. We built a factory, my company. We had it 10 years ago where I went out and did feasibility studies and hired a firm and lawyers and everything. The Philippines was one of 5 countries we went and surveyed, and it came in last place. I mean, we ended up building it in Taiwan, where we had 0% taxes and 0% duties. In Philippines, it was 35% tariffs. Taxes galore. You couldn't own the whole company. You had to have shell companies and the list. I mean, it was a mile-high long list of bullshit. So guess where the factory with its 325 workers got built? In Taiwan. And that type of story goes on and on. No one's going to, deal with the anti-competitive crap that they have. Plus the traffic. I mean, just the quality of life. We lived in Cebu for 8 years. There's not a single park in Cebu. Nothing. There's nothing to do in these places. It's just they have malls, and then they don't have any seats in the mall. They don't want you to sit down.
You're not allowed to sit.
Don't get me wrong. I love Filipino people, and I like the people a lot, but the country is a disaster. But I like the people. See, I don't live there anymore, Jay. I can say anything. You know what I mean? I had freedom of speech, unlike you, that you have to be very careful what you say because they're going to get their feelings hurt.
True. According to true.
I know what I'm talking about there, my man. And I love you too, and Norma, and I want you to be, I'm happy for you. But on this particular topic, Philippines loses.
Yeah, they tell them.
But we love Filipino people. I mean, all my kids are Filipino, and of course, April and Honeyco.
No, we're from Mexico.
And I've hired so many Filipinos and brought them back to work at the factory in Connecticut. And I got nothing bad thing to say about Filipino people themselves.
Oh, we're Mexican.
Even the police, I've had lots of dealings with the police. I've gotten along with everybody.
We're Mexican.
What was it about Mexican?
We are. I'm not Filipino, I'm Mexican. Charot. Just kidding.
That's funny.
Well, if only your food tasted like Mexican food, we'd be thrilled, wouldn't we?
Yeah. No, I'm Vietnamese, sorry. I have my
I don't think people should stay if they're not happy with the place. I don't think people should stay and bitch about the place. I got to that point the last 6 months I was there where I was bitching. I remember a chicken at Chuck's To Go was 160, and then seemingly overnight it was 400. You know, everything just ballooned up like crazy, like there was no tomorrow. Now you're paying U.S. prices for everything. For the Philippines, not going to happen.
Very much talk about the guys who are getting deported.
The guys that are getting deported should be deported because they would be deported in Thailand or Vietnam in about 1 week. The problem in the Philippines, it takes years for them to deport anybody. If you start bashing people and doing all the slander that guys like that do in Thailand, they round you up. We were here one year, remember that, Honeyco? And they had a famous Chinese vlogger that was talking shit about everybody. They had her out of the country within a week. They also don't tolerate overstaying, like what happened to Barry Jordan. I mean, 7 years overstay. They don't put up with that here. You have to show your stamp everywhere you go. The cops come, they won't rent you rooms without your passport being up to date. The cops come, they have facial recognition in a lot of these cop cars that go around. Don C was telling me that. They use AI to determine who is overstaying there in Pattaya. So yeah, the people that are being deported, they should just get them out of there. Get Barry out of there. He doesn't belong in Bilibad prison for the rest of his life for overstaying his visa. 3 years in a Philippine prison for overstay. But I do think that if you're going to live in a country, you got to follow their laws. They say you got to go renew your visa every month. You got to go renew your visa every month. Is it annoying? Yeah. Does it suck compared to the U.S. visa? Absolutely. U.S. visa, you pay $200 one time. You got a 10-year multi-entry visa. You can stay for 6 months at a time. You don't have to do anything. So it sucks. It's a money-making machine for them. But if you can't deal with it, then you should go. Now, I'll tell you a great alternative to it. Move to Johor Bahru, which is right on the Singapore border. You get 3 months if you're an American automatically. You cross the border, cross right back into Malaysia, and you get another 3-month stamp.
I think YouTube slander is the worst. I have a permanent resident visa, according to Payment.
If you have a permanent resident visa, it's very hard to get rid of you. An SRRV or a 13A, and it's very hard to get rid of that person.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about permanent residents. You look at Frank, the one that's supposed to be dead right now. He's been there for 10 years. In that 10-year time, he's got 7 or 8 cases that have been filed either by him or against him. He's had controversy after controversy, problem after problem. And he's on a tourist visa, living with a married woman. Those are the people that they should go after because they're not behaving like tourists. Like right now, I'm a tourist in Phuket. Look at this place. The place is killing it. People are surfing. It's sunny. Got islands out there. People playing in the sand. You can't beat this. This is one of the greatest places in the world. One of the top destinations that Hollywood uses as a backdrop, and it's one of the great vacation spots you'll ever go to in this world. What if I'm out here beating people up? I'm out here slandering people. I'm out here robbing people, pulling knives on people. Why would the Thai government put up with that? I'm supposed to be a tourist. What do you do when you're a tourist? You go to the beach, you get a boogie board, you go fishing, you go, whatever you do, but you don't get mired in cases.
They are all on tourist visa.
So if you're a tourist visa, you should behave like a tourist. If you're married and you have a marriage visa or you have children that are Filipino, then you get the next level of being able to bitch a little bit more because you have a vested interest. But if you're on a tourist visa, you should keep your mouth shut, act like a tourist, be grateful, be thankful, and get the hell out. And if you show up, be nice to the immigration officer. In all my years in the Philippines, I never had an immigration officer act bad. I never had a government official act bad. I never had anyone act rude. So when you see these guys hyperventilating and freaking out in line, they don't belong there.
Yeah, John S said, I agree, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's absurd. Like, you're a tourist. If you want to bitch, go back to your own country.
Beach in there.
And the U.S. should be kicking people out that are bitching about the U.S. too. Anyone who wants to do protests and do everything from the Philippines, Mexico, or anywhere else, they should round them up and toss them right out of the country. They're supposed to be tourists. I remember Marco Rubio said this about people that were demonstrating and protests at college campuses. You're there on an education visa. You're supposed to be getting an education, not getting drunk, making babies, and protesting about how horrible the great Satan America is.
Yeah, agree. There's the Koreans in there.
The Koreans are
Hey,
here.
the Koreans are really like they're performing some sort of an inline surfing. I
The
really looks
Koreans are
good.
here performing
Yeah,
for
they're
us.
performing themselves. That's really cool, actually. Like, there, look at that. They're lining up.
They're lining up, folks.
Lining up. There's nothing yet. Yeah. What's it? Jada. It looks like the tide is coming up in there. It looks like the tide is coming up. It is coming up here. Is it? Is it ready? Yeah? It looks on you. It's on you.
It's on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
I saluted the room.
It is on you right now. What did you do there? Look at this. No, it's already back to them.
You got to go on camera every once in a while.
The tide is up, Jada.
The
Really.
tide is high and
Back to you. Back to you, Biggie. It is back to you, Biggie. It's really back to you. No, no, no more na. Back to ano na.
I know they want to see the scenery, not my ugly face.
Back at you, Biggie.
Okay, is there time up yet?
And 30 minutes.
Let's.
Almost 1 hour.
Can you see how much my battery is here?
41%.
Wow, normally the battery just drain right out.
Because it's you have your orange ano ba? Your orange eye sunglasses.
Can I get the other camera real quick? I want to take those clips so I can.
Practicing. That's really pretty.
Any other comment there?
Biggie, thanks for the stream. Very enjoyable according to John S.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
That's pretty. Look at that. They're very cute. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, see? Look at that. Look at that.
I'll go down there.
They look so.
Let's grab our stuff, okay?
Are you? They might be asking. Are you ending the stream? They might be asking. Are you ending the stream?
No.
It's on your face.
Oh, because all these idiots, I say, you never show yourself on cam. Well, I never show it because I used to show it all the time. Do I have my hat? We're gonna go down here, J Mike, and see what the little Koreans are up to. I feel like Paul Hogan in those old commercials. From the land of wonder, the land down under.
What of you, the what of you, according to John and
Yeah, I can't beat it, huh? So let's go see what the little Koreans are up to. Oh no, the Koreans are here. Remember that? Remember that movie, The Russians Are Coming? The Russians are coming.
here, the Koreans are coming.
Okay, the Koreans are doing some kind of maneuver here. Yeah, people always want you to show your face. I used to do live streams all the time showing my face and walk and talks. I don't give a shit about my face. Let's see what they got going on here. Looks like they might be waiting for a swell. Well, I'll tell you what, man, this is unbelievable weather. It's not that hot. It looks hot, sunny. Okay, come on, Koreans.
There.
Here they come.
Take a look at that. Oh my God, that looks so good.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah. Woohoo.
Oops, I lost my shoe. Yeah, I mean, the weather is just phenomenal. Do you have the camera?
Ano, wait, back to
Yeah, you can't beat this. When the sun peeks out like this, and that's why I have my other camera, because I need to get original footage for my song list I do on my shorts. I just got done with the CCR list. And I'd done the Beatles list. I'm trying to think of who the next one. Maybe it'll be Led Zeppelin. Seems like YouTube likes the love songs though, like the Carpenters and Bread. I don't mind doing that stuff too. Do you have other comments there?
Hello, Biggie. Tim Dizzy there.
Tim Dizziak is here.
Hi, Tim D. Hi, Tim Dizzy.
Tim. Our favorite guy has arrived. Tim just uploaded some amazing stuff. Check out his channel, Tim Dizziak, in the Philippines. Puts out the best educational material on the Philippines in existence today, in my humble opinion.
Buddy, let's go. Let's go now.
Yeah.
No, look at them. Son. Let's go now.
They still out there?
Hey, Sandy and what? Sandy and Sandy. Buddy, let's go now. No, they're playing the officer. The buddy, wait. Come in na. Buddy, let's go now. Let's go, buddy.
Take away. Let's go back now. Your new face.
How about now?
Yeah, yeah, it's in there now. Dad! Let's go now, let's go now, let's go now, let's go.
Come
Thank you for saying that. According to Tembi. Tembi Zia said. Chan!
Tim Dizziak is the man, the myth, the legend. And if I was back in Angeles City, I'd be over there today.
Then back on your face.
Is it on my face again?
I know, it's back now there. Let's go, let's go.
Everyone wants to see my face, but I'm ugly. Just so you know, for future reference, don't ask for my face, especially if you ate already. It might come puking up. I'm a typical expat, you know, ugly, washed up, over the hill. How was it?
It was so fun. Me and Sunday were a little bit farther and we decided to go out to the big waves. It was so fun.
Are you going to do surfing again? Your surfing days are over, huh? Boogie boarding's here to stay. Yeah. I'm doing two things. Any more comments? Thankfully, April's reading the comments because it's so glary out here.
The quality of your video is as good as it gets.
Wow. Thank you so much. Is that the live stream video or the regular videos? Because the live stream we're using an iPhone, is it 16? And then this recorded one, we have a DJI and we have an Insta. Really leaning toward this DJI. I'll show it to you here.
I know people who are so ugly, they could make a trainer like a bird.
That's me, Tim. I set records when it comes to ugly.
The live stream is perfect quality.
Oh, that's awesome because that means they probably have good internet right now. We had we use a different carrier this time. We used to run out of signal right around here. There was like a stretch on this beach. You know what's interesting? If you do this same setup right now, and you do it in the Black Sea, like in Bulgaria and Romania area, what you'll see is you'll see a massive amounts of tits and asses and pussies. There's a lot of nude beaches over there.
They just said no skip or jump. Your internet connection is great. They might say live stream is only as good as the Wi-Fi.
That's it. We got lucky this time. I'll tell you what we've been doing lately. Rather than buying SIM cards, look at that view. Look at that view, J Doll. Gosh, I mean, you can't beat this. I don't think. This is otherworldly. We started. Oh, I'm gonna let this pass.
Jado said, tide is coming up. You already lost half your view.
Yeah,
Sylvia said, nude beaches are popular in Portugal.
yeah, they are. Portugal as well. And I've been taken out to these places by customers, and
Jada is asking, where are most of the tourists from?
probably Russia,
Russia.
Korea, Japan, China, and then there's some Americans. But you can see those surfers that just walk by. These guys are all juiced up out of their minds.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
I hope that's not directed to me. Maybe she was saying, "You're not allowed to refilm in public, you bastard." What we've been doing lately is going to trip.com, and you can buy eSIMs in trip.com. And they have reviews there, so you can go look at the reviews. And they're cheap and they're easy, and you turn them on before you take off from the previous country. That's what we've been doing lately. So the one that we got for this one had a 4.95 rating with high-speed 5G. So far, so good. It looks like it's working. I thought the lady was yelling at me. I thought it was one of those First Amendment log deals. I agree with some of what they do, but some of it's ludicrous. Cop will walk up and say, "Hi, how are you?" I don't speak to cops. Take that, please. Thank you. Okay. Where were we? Nude beaches. Yeah. So the client will take me to the beach, and these are people I work with. We're in suits, and you look over, and you're looking at his dick right in your front of your face. You're like, "What's going on?" And they sort of expect you to do it too. But for me, I'm not comfortable with nude beaches. Even though I got a massive schlong, it's just not, it's awkward. So awkward. So awkward. Well, I hope with this live stream, with the beauty that we've shown here today, inspired some of you to go out and travel. You don't have to travel here. It can be even in Florida or California or Hawaii. But to get out, live your life to the fullest, enjoy your life. If you worked all your life and are retired, you didn't retire to sit in a shithole and feel sorry for yourself. You want to get out there and live it. Enjoy it.
It's raining here now.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, to be honest, because the last time I checked with you, it was 41 degrees, and I don't feel good about you being in 41-degree weather, even though you have air conditioners. I don't trust the power grid in the Philippines. But if you're getting into more rainy, at least the temperatures will come down, as long as you don't get flooding. And you live there a long time, you certainly don't need any advice from me. If anything, I should be getting the advice from you, but I would just always make sure to have some extra batteries, have a battery pack or two charged up. Make sure you have enough water for a day or two, minimum. All the basic shit. A lot of times people they don't think it's gonna hit them. It was a big deal. They got hit with the Typhoon Odette when I was in the country of Jordan. And the problem is they didn't have electricity for a week. But the worst problem was no one could access cash at an ATM machine for about 10 days. And even then they would only limit you to 10,000, 10,000. So having an emergency stash somewhere of 50K, even 20 or 30K, not a bad idea.
Chargeable and emergency lights, 40 to 10.
That's what we did, Tim. We went out and bought all those rechargeable fans.
Yeah.
I probably have 4 or 5 of them now. And Da Nang, and it's not nearly as hot in Da Nang, but we still, just as a precaution. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here, everybody. I'm going to start saying my goodbyes. So, nice chatting with Tim Disiak, J. Mike, Sholam Bao, Internet Monster, John S., Jay Dahl, everyone who was here. We care. We love you. Even the lurkers and the trolls. I don't have any hate in my heart for anybody, really. Want to shout out to Big Kevin and Richard Lee Rogers for having a great show the other night. And anyone else I'm missing. Take care, and we will see you all next time on Biggie, I'm Brooke. Can you turn it off?
Hold this one up.